Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well. I'm Jordan Nace. I am the membership director of the Greater Chambersburg Chamber of Commerce, and it's nice to be doing a video again. It's been a little while, and I am happy to be here today. Today with a brand new chamber member and a brand new organization to Chambersburg, Phoenix Physical Therapy. This morning, I will be chatting with the clinic director of the Chambersburg location and the clinic director of the Carlisle location, Devin Day and Adam Paris. Good morning to both of you. How are you?
Good morning. Good.
Good, good. You guys getting excited for the Thanksgiving holiday?
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving's
Yes.
the best.
I agree. It's certainly up there. So look, before we dig into the workers' comp side of things, which I know is the topic that you primarily want to cover today, I was hoping you could just tell everybody a little bit about Phoenix Physical Therapy and, all of your areas of expertise. I mean, to me, it seems like you do, after I went to your website, you do a little bit more than just what some would consider physical therapy.
Yeah, so Phoenix is mostly an East Coast company, but we are kind of branching out into Ohio, Colorado, those kind of areas. So it is about 120 clinics, so a little bit smaller on the scale of the kind of large companies, but we do have a pretty big footprint on the East Coast. So in Chambersburg, we have physical therapy, and that is kind of across the board. We do your orthopedic, neuro, geriatric, pediatric, a little bit of everything. So we kind of take all patients, but we also have a certified hand therapist. So she does all of our elbow, wrist, and hand, and she's an occupational therapist. And then we do have an entire school-based program, which a lot of times people don't know about. So they go out into the schools for every district in the county, and they treat the kids for occupational and physical therapy. And that's pretty much things that they have difficulty with in school. And that's nice to have that and have it as a resource for those kids to, especially now that aren't in school, they're still doing that kind of treatment. So that's a kind of side of things that people don't actually know about. Another one of our specialties is we do have a program that's specifically for Parkinson's. So they have a treatment that is a 4 times a week for 4-week treatment, and then they go through that and it helps them with moving better, ADLs, function, things that they're doing around their house that is a little bit harder for them. So it just allows them to get a little bit more aggressive treatment that helps to a little bit slow that progression of the Parkinson's. So that's one of our bigger specialty programs.
I'm glad you said something about that. I'm in a club in the area where a gentleman unfortunately is going through that, and I'm not sure he necessarily knows where to go from that standpoint to receive some treatment on that. So
yeah,
I'll
send him our way.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Tell me a little bit. I mean, COVID's kind of the big thing, and unfortunately, we're still talking about it, but it's a reality. Are you finding yourselves having to change a lot of your standard operating procedures? I mean, because I know your field is, a very hands-on field.
Yeah, it's a little bit changed. A lot of what we already do is the same thing. So we already were kind of doing those universal precautions, always washing our hands, cleaning everything. We're kind of used to that in the healthcare world. So
Yeah.
that's just ramped up more. And we are doing all of the masks and taking temperatures and all of that kind of stuff. I think the biggest thing is the 6-foot distance. The great thing about our clinic is it's big. So we have enough room to spread people out. It's just us and the patient that are close to each other. We are still doing all of our hands-on treatment because you can't do PT or OT without it. So that's kind of our bread and butter, is that hands-on treatment. So we're just doing the same things that we did, but as safe as we can.
Sure. And going off of that question, I suppose, I mean, there's some people out there that unfortunately you can be as safe as you want to be, but they're still going to stay at home. Do you offer any telehealth services?
Yes, we are doing telehealth for anybody that wants it. So we also are treating people in rooms if they are high risk, but they want to come in to the clinic. We separate them into a room. But yeah, we're doing telehealth, and that is through Zoom because everybody's kind of used to Zoom now. That's the new thing. But Yeah, we do telehealth for every one of their appointments. And the thing that I guess we didn't really realize, because we're not used to treating people not together, is that you really can help someone function in their home because you're in it. Like, we never get to see what their house looks like normally. So we're just talking in a clinic about, hey, well, you could try the steps this way. Whereas telehealth, I can see it and be like, yeah, let's do these 20 things to help with that. So it almost kind of created this hidden benefit that we didn't really know was the case. So it's kind of nice to do telehealth every once in a while. But yeah, we're doing, anybody who wants it, we'll do it for them.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing that with me. I mean, now to get more towards the piece that you all wanted to cover, I appreciate you answering my questions. Workers' comp side of things. So, I'm not even very accustomed to what we're talking about here. So a lot of this will be new to me. So tell me, what is a workers' comp panel? These are some questions you provided me to ask you all today. So what's a workers' comp panel?
So I think workers' comp in general kind of puts fear in people, and it's always that taboo word for, I think, companies and employers and employees. But the panel in itself is there to protect the employer. So Pennsylvania is a state where it uses panels to help protect that employer. So that panel is a list of doctors, urgent cares, physical therapists, orthopedists, neurologists, all of the people that potentially an employer would have to go see. That employer would have a list of preferred providers that they trust and they know, and that employee would have to pick from that list to go to those places. Okay. So instead of just, a random, I hurt my back today and I'm going to go see my uncle who's a doctor and they're going to write me whatever I want. It's kind of a fact of the matter that we do have people that don't use that system how they should, which is unfortunate, but it protects you against that. So instead of having some random person that you don't know is giving you information, you're getting information about that employee from somebody that is trusted and is going to give you what you kind of want out of that care and out of that information. And a lot of companies, this is good for big and small companies. I think most of the time people think about this for your big corporate world, but it's great to have that as a small company too. And a lot of times people don't really know about the panels because the insurances kind of take over and pick the people. And unfortunately, they're probably going to pick the people that are cheapest for them, which is not necessarily your best providers or your most trusted people that you have a relationship with. So it is in Pennsylvania that employer can choose their entire panel. So it's not something you have to let that insurance company do. So you want that panel in place to protect you as the employer.
Yeah, and I think to go off of what Devin said, if your employee does get hurt, you want them to get the best possible care. So having people on that panel that can provide that good quality care is important to you as an employer as well, and not just who's going to do it the cheapest.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to the importance of having a workers' comp panel? I mean, is there any other benefits?
Yeah, I think the biggest benefit is the goal of workers' comp is to get that person back to work as quickly as possible. So our goals as PTs, we always laugh because it's kind of a weird thing. We don't want to have to see somebody again. So you kind of develop a relationship with somebody and then you say, I want to see you as least as possible, because that means you're functioning and that means you're back to work. So if you have that panel and you have that trusted person, you're going to save money, dragging out that workers' comp case. We can get them into those places quickly. We get all of our workers' comp patients in within 24 to 48 hours of that call. So we can get them in as quick as we can. And you have that good quality care to get them better faster. So it's really nice to have that relationship and get people back as quick as you can to their job.
So how do I set up a workers' comp panel?
So like I said, a lot of times the insurance companies are going to tell you that they will set it up for you, but you as the employer absolutely have your choice of those people. So We actually, as Phoenix, have templates for you to kind of go through and see what do you need on that panel, and how is that going to best fit you and what you need for your employees. So a lot of it is sometimes is, you know, what doctors do you trust? So to make a list of, you know, are there people in the area that you already know, you already have a relationship with, or come to us and we can tell you, these are the doctors that we see great results with, quick results with, that are going to give you the good quality care that you need. So we can absolutely help with that. If there's somebody that they're like, I have no idea where to start with this, but then you would kind of create that panel and then give that list to the insurance company itself.
Okay. So that's obviously one benefit of working with you all, because you can provide that. What are some other benefits for working through Phoenix Physical Therapy?
Yeah. So Phoenix has a great workers' comp program. So they have already kind of outlined everything and created a process for us to make it as streamlined as possible. So if that person would come in for an evaluation, we are going to day one kind of test them off of their job description. So that employer, we're already in contact with them before they even come in for their appointment to get the job description and see what is best for them. What do they need to get back to work? So we're going to do their evaluation and say, and test them, can they do those things? So we have an entire kind of paper that we run through that also goes to the employer, which is nice. So they can see where is that person at. And they kind of go through, okay, we can, you know, you need to push 50 pounds, they can push 20 pounds right now. So we can say, you know, they could go light duty if the employer has that or allows that, or we can say they're 20 pounds now, most likely in 3 weeks, they're going to be where they need to be, so that they are kind of on that timeline and, you know, this is, you know, going to be a month-long process versus a year-long process. So we are starting that day one with those employees, and we do that every 2 weeks. So we are going to kind of track their progress very frequently through their treatment, so that they know weekly almost, or every 2 weeks, how that employee is doing, and they get every bit of that information from us too.
Okay. I'm interested in all this. I have a friend that's going through this, and I mean, he's not telling me the ins and outs of it, but I know he's been struggling with it. So it is a very strenuous process, you know. So I think a lot of people have some of these questions. So I appreciate you going over all of this.
Yeah.
What makes Phoenix different?
Yeah, we are the best thing about us, and Adam's clinic is a little different than mine. We have a little bit bigger clinic, but even so, we keep that person with a team. So instead of them coming in and they're going to see 4 different people, which is very hard to progress and kind of track that progress, they're only going to see, say, me or my assistant. So we are very consistently progressing them and very consistently tracking them. And we're very proud to have that kind of one-on-one patient care that is pretty individualized for them. So we spend the treatment with the patient. It's not just, hey, I'll give you these 20 exercises and I'll see you in 45 minutes. So we're hands-on, we're right there with them, talking them through form, mechanics, things that are gonna help them, one, you know, not get injured in the future, hopefully, and kind of prevent that. Adam's clinic is actually just a one-person clinic, so which is a majority of our clinics are kind of that one clinician clinic. So he's with them the entire time, so they have that kind of full treatment. Yeah, one-on-one, exactly that same person every time, which is really nice to have.
Adam, anything you want to add?
I think one of the additional services we offer employers are what we call post-employment screens or post-offer screens. So if you're getting ready to hire somebody in a physically demanding job, as an employer, you can't legally ask them if they have any medical conditions that will prevent them from doing the job. But what you can do is say, hey, you look like a great fit for the job. We're going to send you over to Phoenix. They're going to run you through a test. And if you pass the test, the job's yours. Well, the post-offer test is something that we work with employers on to simulate those job functions to see if that person physically can handle the job. So we'll run them through in this setting if it's lifting, carrying, pushing, pulling, crawling, sitting. The problem is if you don't do something like that, and let's say Devin hires me and I've got a bad back, and she says, hey, we're going to put you in the warehouse. And the first day she says, all right, I'm going to have you pick these boxes up and put them on the shelf. And I bend down to pick that box up and my back can't handle it. She has now inherited the medical expenses of my bad back.
Wow.
So by doing the post-offer employment screen, you know that the person physically has the capability to do the job, and you can legally decline hiring that person after you've offered the job if they're not able to physically pass the test, and protect yourself from incurring the cost of an injury.
That's a huge benefit.
Yeah. So I think that's one, and a lot of employers, particularly smaller employers, don't know about those, and they end up with those large workers' comp premiums. Mm-hmm. Because what happens, your premiums are based upon the type of industry you're in, and then how many injuries you have compared to others in that same setting.
Wow, okay.
And so if you have 2 or 3 times as many, you're going to pay 3 times the workers' compensation insurance premiums as somebody else. So by doing those, it helps to control those costs.
Well, hopefully after our interview here today, we'll have some employers reaching out to one of you both here today. So we will. Anything else you want to add? I mean, I'm running out of questions here to ask. I mean, anything you else want to talk about here before we tell everybody that's part of our membership where exactly you all are located and how to get in contact with you?
Yeah, I think it's just, keep in mind that workers' comp is for, the employer too. I think a lot of times it's very much put out that it's for the employee, but it is, we are here to protect the employer. So I think we get overlooked a little bit in that whole process a lot of the times as physical therapy, but our biggest goal is to protect them and get them back to work. So,
Adam, anything else?
No, I think everything Devin's covered and the questions that you asked have really been spot on with it. And I think one of the big things, just from a physical therapy standpoint outside of workers' comp, is with the concern with opioids and everything. Physical therapy is a great alternative to helping get back to full function without getting set on heavy medications. So
I think that's very important. I'm glad you added that. I mean, I'm all for doing anything that avoids having to take 20 different pills, every single day of the week. I don't think that's necessarily doing anybody any good. So it isn't, other than in rare cases. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for coming on here today and talking to me and the rest of our chamber membership. Tell us where exactly both of you are located, because I know, Devin, you're in the Chambersburg office, and Adam, you're in the Carlisle office. So tell us your location, and how about a phone number and an email address so folks can get a hold of you both? Sure.
So we are on Franklin Farm Lane. So we are kind of the little shopping center right behind Sheets, which is great sometimes. But so we're pretty easy to find right off of 30. Our number is 717-263-5147. And my email is dday@phx-pt.com.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And my location is at 1075 Harrisburg Pike, Suite 101 in Carlisle. We're between the Turnpike and the Carlisle Barracks. We're about midway between the two of those. And our clinic phone number is 717, and I'm going to look because it's on speed dial, so 422-5838. And my email address is aparis, Paris, @phx-pt.com.
Thanks a lot. You handled that well. I put you on the spot, my friend. All right, Devin and Adam. I hope you both have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And again, I appreciate you coming on here and talking to me. I might have been a little rusty here in my my video skills. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, so please forgive me. But you two did amazing, and I look forward to chatting with you again here soon. And hopefully we can get together in person sooner rather than later.
That'd be great.
Thanks for having us, Jordan.
All right, take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.